We are going to record the session today. Many of you already know this. If you're part of our Orlando Tug group on LinkedIn, we post the recordings of these Zoom sessions there after the fact. So if you're not able to actually make the meeting live, then you can, tune in. And we've had some great sessions. So all of our sessions from this year are in that group. So if you're not a member of that group today, please just let us know. Again, we can help connect you to that group. And there looks like there's a lot of folks on the leadership team, but there's room for one more. We can fit you in right there. If you're interested and you want to do more in the community, please let us know, because we really love sharing that opportunity. So
that's true.
Our mission, of course, is to really drive Tableau's overall mission, and Tableau helps people see and understand data. I know that all of you are pretty connected to that, pretty aware of that. Our group has been meeting monthly, and our goal is really to drive and introduce concepts, techniques, and strategy that promote tool comprehension. So we really want everyone to get a great opportunity to learn and to see things that you might not otherwise see in your environment. And you may not have the opportunity to, reach out to somebody else in your space and ask questions, or, where did you learn this? How does that work? And one of the things that I value about Tableau in our environment is just the exceptional way that the community supports each other. So if you need help, if you got questions, or you're trying to learn something, there's probably somebody who can help you with that. And that's really part of our mission here, is to make that happen. So help us connect with you. We really want you to share in the chat your Tableau public page, your LinkedIn page. So any of those kind of things, feel free to chat with us there, or make connections with us as you're able to do so. So we really appreciate that. Okay, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Kim. Kim Unger is with DataBrains, and Kim is a huge fan of the Tableau environment. As her sign says, Viz like a boss. She's got some great things that she's going to share with the group today. So with that, Kim, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you.
All right, thank you. Let me just share my screen. And I apologize, everyone. I am recovering from bronchitis. My voice is a little weird today, but hopefully it'll come across clear enough. So today I'm going to talk to you about embracing the Tableau community, specifically 5 activities that you should be trying. And you might have heard of some of these. Some of these might be new to you, but we're going to kind of do brief overviews of them as ways for you to get more involved in the community. But first, a little bit about myself. As Jeff mentioned, I work at DataBrains. I am the Senior Director for Tableau Services there, which basically means I lead a bunch of talented developers and help guide our team forward. But I wasn't always a Tableau consultant and director. I actually was an environmental scientist for about 15 years, doing air quality and water quality modeling. And I was at a conference and saw a colleague use Tableau, came home from the conference and literally watched every single video on Tableau's website, probably like a lot of you, and became a Tableau junkie over a weekend. Proceeded to make our entire company start using Tableau for reporting, and then realized this is what I want to do with my life. So transitioned to DataBrains and have been in consulting ever since. I am a certified Tableau professional, certified Tableau trainer. So I love sharing my expertise and knowledge with other people. But I am also a soccer mom. So you'll find me watching my daughter play soccer, competitive soccer all weekends, and late at practice every night. And when I have any of the free time, you'll find me actually playing poker. So when we have our conferences in Vegas, I'm really excited, and that's where you'll find me. Okay. Put some contact information here, and we'll send out this slide deck as well to everybody. But you can reach me Twitter, my LinkedIn page. I have a blog as well. Happy to talk with you guys at any point in time. For our brief meeting today, we're going to talk about some of those 5 community activities, all of these which I have participated in and have gained some kind of knowledge or experience out of, and then really why you want to participate in these. So we're going to talk through Makeover Monday, Workout Wednesday, Sports Viz Sunday, so 3 things happening on particular days, and then Viz for Social Good and Iron Viz. So again, you may have heard of some of these may be new to you. The point is just to kind of put these out there, give you the guidance as to what they are, and maybe you're going to want to participate. And even if you don't actually do the activities, just kind of seeing what other people do gets you involved and actually is going to help you increase your skills and knowledge in Tableau. All right, so the first one of these is called Makeover Monday. It's probably the most famous of the community activities in that it's been around for quite some time now. And their whole goal is to improve how we visualize and analyze data one chart at a time. And actually, it kind of ties in really well with what Yamil was saying with his chart conversation. They actually take a data set and a data story and give it out to the community and let you visualize it however you'd like. And then they actually talk about that. So you can provide your visualizations to the community and get feedback, just like Yamil was talking about getting feedback in his sessions as well. So it actually goes throughout the entire week. On Sundays, the data set is provided and there's a website that you can go to get this. It'll also have kind of a screenshot of where the data came from, what the original visualization was, what the data story was. And then it's up to you on Mondays to kind of look at that data, analyze it and visualize and tell whatever story you want. It may be the same story that's already been told, but visualized a different way. You may find something completely new and exciting in the data that you want to share. Whatever you want to do with the data, you can do. And then you can publish it up to Tableau Public, make it available to everybody, share it on Twitter. There's some hashtags, and depending upon the hashtag that you add in there, you could actually offer up your visualization for feedback. On Wednesday, there is a live Viz review session that Andy Kriebel hosts on YouTube. So you can have the best of the best to actually critique your visuals right there on the spot. Sometimes he may say things that are not the nicest review, but it's all for the benefit of making your visualizations better, right? Thursday, then you can take all that great feedback that you got, update your visualization, post it back up there. And then Friday, they put out a blog post kind of recapping some of their favorite visuals from the week and some of the key insights and things that they learned. Saturday is your day to relax, go to the beach, chill out. Sunday, you come back with the next data set. So it's really kind of a cool way to get involved in the community. And it's not just you using this data, right? There's all these other visualizations that are out there, all with the same data set that come up with their own kind of interpretations. As I mentioned, this all gets put up on Tableau Public, so you can end up seeing what the original visualization is. And it could go for something like this, where it's very simple data, looking at air travel over time for a particular year. And in this case, we're looking at how COVID kind of impacted air travel. And someone took this visualization and converted it into this visualization. Same kind of story in that they're highlighting that drop, but they've added some additional complexities to it. They've added the visual to make it much more dramatic in comparisons to the previous. So it's a really cool way to see people's different interpretations, to see different visualization styles, etc. And by having this up on Tableau Public, the creators of this can then allow you to download the workbooks for you to look at themselves. So when I first started out doing Tableau, a lot of my learnings, as I said, was from the community. I watched every video. I looked at all these Makeover Mondays. I would download the workbooks and see how they actually make that chart look like that, or how do they bring in this or that. And so this is a great way to do that. Okay. Now, if you're done with Mondays and you want to do something fun on Wednesdays, there is an activity called Workout Wednesday. There's now not just Tableau challenges, but also Power BI challenges on there. The way this works is these challenges are released every Wednesday, and it is a specific graph or visualization, I should say, that's been created, in this case, in Tableau, and a set of requirements for you to use to recreate it exactly the way it is. At any point in time, if you get stuck, because these are a little more complicated than your basic visuals, you can download the solution and kind of reverse engineer and see what someone else had done to get to those solutions. As with Makeover Monday, you'll publish it up to Tableau Public, share it to Twitter, get feedback, etc. They'll also on Saturdays produce a walkthrough video on how to do the solution. So what I really love about Workout Wednesday is it's a little more challenging in my mind than Makeover Monday. Makeover Monday to me is more about visual design and best practices and storytelling, whereas Workout Wednesday can be more of the technical side of things. There may be a new feature that's been added in Tableau, and there'll be then a Workout Wednesday to kind of explore that. When Tableau released all of its new map layers features, we had a bunch of those for Workout Wednesday, and it was a great way to learn that new functionality. So this is actually this week's from Wednesday. Their visual you can see on the right is, can you create a moving average chart with a focus on selected subcategories? And so the goal then is for you to recreate this. They'll provide that data source for you, and you'll see the requirements on the left-hand side. So specifically here is you can only use table calculations. Don't dare use a level of detail calculation to get this answer. They are going to be frowned upon, and that's not then successfully finishing the challenge. So it's a really good way for you to kind of learn those maybe harder techniques and challenge yourself week to week. Then there's an activity on Sunday. Now this one though is only every month, and it's called Viz Sunday. And I really like this because I'm a big fan of sports. Said I'm a soccer mom. But this provides you with one data set every month on some kind of sports activity, and they leave it up to you to find your own story and to create your own visualizations out of it. As with everything else, it's recommended that you share your submission, and then all the other submissions are going to be out there too. So each of these particular community activities all have their own Twitter hashtags. So you can search throughout to find other submissions. You can search them on Tableau Public as well. But it's a really good way for you to get really large data sets for you to practice other Tableau techniques. So a lot of times I will even just go to Viz Sunday just to get a good data set to play around with. I said I'm a certified Tableau trainer. A lot of my trainings, I talk with sports data just because I find people become more interested in it. And Viz Sunday is really a great place to go to get some of that data. So this month is actually on the UFC. And I'm just going to kind of show you 3 quick ones that have already been created. We're only halfway through the month, and we have some really, really great visualizations. I will say that because these are only monthly, you tend to get a little bigger visualizations than you may for things like Makeover Monday and Workout Wednesday. But this particular one is highlighting one particular UFC fighter. We've got others that are looking at all of the fighters and who they fought, and then even more that are breaking out more details. So the whole point of this is, you've got an entire community using the same data set and coming up with their own unique stories, their unique visualizations. Again, all of this is published up to Tableau Public. You'll see a lot of these end up being Viz of the days, Viz of the weeks, et cetera, because of kind of how big they become. But it's a great way for you then to go to Tableau Public, take a look at the things you like, download it, reverse engineer, and really learn from some of these great visualizations that get produced. Okay, this next one is Viz for Social Good. And unlike the others, it's not really a weekly or a monthly thing. This is more like, I would say, probably happens every 2, 3, 4 months in a year. But Viz for Social Good is an activity that is started with the whole purposes of helping those nonprofit organizations that might not have the budget to be able to get people of our caliber to actually do their data analysis and their visualizations. So nonprofits actually contact the Viz for Social Good organization saying that they have a particular data visualization request. And then Viz for Social Good collects some data to kind of back that visualization up, and they launch a project on their website. Then you as an individual can go out there and say, I want to volunteer to help with the project. You get that data and you go and create visualizations to kind of create like a marketing campaign, if you will. Think of it like a big poster that's visualized in Tableau. And you can do this either by yourself, or there's groups that'll do it collectively together, but ultimately come up with this really good representation of the data that's needed for this nonprofits. And then the nonprofit gets all the visualizations that have been created and chooses which ones they want to use and how. So essentially, you're giving your services for free to them to be able to help with some greater good cause and opportunity. So there's just 2 examples that I brought in to kind of show you really quickly. This one I just think is a beautiful visualization, and both of these are related to gender disparity. This one particular with regards to in tech companies, and this one is how gender equality is impacting female health and clean energy. In both cases, They had the projects that were out there. People volunteered to do this. And these are just one of many submissions that were sent to these nonprofits for them to be able to choose between. And a lot of these have gone on to actually win awards in the community for their visualizations, for their impacts, and so forth. And it's nice to be able to use our skills for purposes of good in this particular case here. The last activity probably everyone on this call has heard of, but you might not have actually participated in. It's Iron Viz, and this is actually technically the world's largest data visualization competition. This year we had a single qualifier. There's a topic that's provided, and then you go out, find your data, and create your visualization. In previous years, there have been multiple feeders throughout a year to find these finalists. But we had a whopping 318 entrants this year for Iron Viz, which for those of you who've been following this over the years, this is an insane amount compared to normal. I attribute it to partially the topic, which is data and joy. Visualize whatever brings you joy. And the other that kind of all bored and we've got all this time on our hands and we're not really doing anything else. So we're able to actually dedicate more times to creating these Iron Vizes. But from these 318 entrants, 10 were chosen after a couple rounds of judging. 7 were honorable mentions and 3 were finalists. And those 3 finalists are now going to return to the stage, I should say, in air quotes, because it will be virtual for Tableau Conference 21. Where they will then have 20 minutes to visualize some data on whatever topic of that time becomes. But they're going to be competing for a record $19,000 in prizing for the finalists, in addition to $8,000 for a nonprofit of their choice. So what's really great about Iron Viz is it doesn't matter your skill level. It doesn't matter how fancy your visualizations are. It's really all about your storytelling, your design, your data analytics. And anybody can compete, as shown by we had 318 this year. I remember doing this a while back, and actually Katie, who's not on here, won a best newcomer award, I believe, for the Iron Viz one year. And I think we only had like 50 people that year. It was amazing, but you can see how big it's grown just from then. Okay. So from here, as I mentioned, we had 10 that were recognized, a wide variety of different topics, different visuals, different complexities. And then they picked 3 finalists, which were all really exciting. And you can go out to Tableau's website and kind of see these and even dive into them on Tableau Public if you like. But we had a finalist talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. That show brings them joy. We had someone talk about RuPaul's Drag Race, and they actually figured out, what was the key to winning the show. You can spend hours kind of diving into these. And then this one is just beautiful and really analytic at the same time, called Rivers of Time, which is actually looking at the whole study of time through Marvel's cinematic universe. And you can look at this and be like, how is this possibly done in Tableau? I could never do that, right? But the beauty of it is you can, because you can go back now and see how they've done this, right? And dive into this information and pull it apart. And even if you just focus on one small portion of it, there's a lot to be learned just with how a little portion of this is created. So I'm enamored every time I see these Iron Vizes. I can say I have started many Iron Vizes. I've only completed one. It did not win. It did not go any far, but I completed one. And so to me, that's pretty successful, as it is with all the others who've actually been able to create and complete these. So like I said, it's not about winning. It's really just about being able to put the effort in to complete one of these. It's amazing. So there's just 5 of numerous community activities that are out there. But I would say, regardless of which one of these you do or how you get involved in the community, the good thing is here is that there's no real forced commitment, right? No one is standing over you and saying you have to do each one of these, right? And you need to do them every single week. Is it good to? Sure, absolutely, because you can learn with every single one that you do. But choose what interests you. Get involved when you want to get involved, and then learn from each of the things as you build through them, right? But if you want to make it a priority in your time, you can learn a lot from this. So focus on this. Decide you're going to do one of these and do it every single time. I tried really hard to do that with Workout Wednesday this year, and I got to about May, and then I stopped. And then life got in the middle of it. And I've gone back through and done a lot of them since, but my being really specific and doing it every Thursday night kind of stopped after a while. So you have to really make it a priority if you want to. But again, it's not a bad thing if you don't do it every time either. right? Pick and choose the things that matter to you. If at a bare minimum you're not participating, just maybe think about setting aside 1 hour a week to review submissions from one of these particular things, right? Look and see how people chose to analyze the data. Why did they choose that particular chart type? Or how did they build this particular thing? Or if Workout Wednesday is your thing, watch the video on the solutions, right? And take note of all of those things that you can use going forward, right? So there's all different ways that you can kind of set your time commitment on these experiences. And it's really up to you, right? So just choose what fits best for you. And what works this week might not work next week, and that's okay. You gotta be accepting of that for yourself and just throw yourself into the community when you can. As I mentioned, take note of any new techniques or features or functionalities that you're finding so that you can go back and add them to your Tableau skill set. As I mentioned with the Workout Wednesdays, I used to do those religiously, now probably every other week as opposed to every week. But when I go back to the ones that I've missed, I pick out those things that I'm not so sure about, right? So all those new features and functionalities that come out with the releases, those are the ones that I'm going to do first because it's going to give me experience with that new technique. Right? So it's a really good way for you to get exposure to the things that otherwise you might not. And if nothing else, when you go back and have to work on this in your real job, right? You can say, oh, I remember doing that with this Workout Wednesday, or so-and-so did a really good version of that in Makeover Monday, or man, I really like the way they visualize that here in Viz Sunday. So it's really about just exposing you to all these different information and making it really easy for you then to go back at another point in time. And definitely have the courage to share your visualizations with the community and welcome that feedback. It may be harsh at times, right? But as you get that feedback and you work that feedback in, it's going to lead you to becoming a better visualization expert, better analyst, etc. Right? Work up the courage to work with Yamil and let him analyze your visualizations, right? Get that feedback and use that going forward. It's going to make you a much better Tableau specialist at that point. And if you're really adventurous, start your own blog. Share your experiences with the community. I started this for Workout Wednesday. Like I said, I was really good till about May. I'm just now getting back into the swing of things, but I use it as a way to kind of document what I've done and to help other people who may have problems when they're trying to do their Workout Wednesday. So you've got the solution that comes out on Saturday, but if I'm working on this on Thursday and I don't know what to do with it, I can go read somebody's blog or I can go see their solutions that are somewhere else. So take your expertise and then share it with other people. But most important, use these experiences to have fun and meet new people. As you start sharing these visualizations in the community and with Twitter, you're going to start getting feedback from other people that you might never have met before. People that you might even be looking at and saying, man, that's the Tableau guru, and now they're talking to me. This is pretty exciting stuff, right? So before you know it, you become embedded in that community. And when we do have Tableau conference in person sometime again, you can meet up with them and have those cool conversations because you've already started it by interacting with them with these community experiences. So I'm a big advocate for all of these. There's tons of other activities you can get involved with, but hopefully this gave you kind of a start or at least an insight into what some of those are. The slides here are also going to have the resources for how you can participate in those as well yourself. And I hope to see some of these new names of people that are at this tug show up on some of the feeds with participating in these things in the future. That's all I got. Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Kim. Thank you.
And I didn't have a coughing fit. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, you did great.
Jeff, I have some questions that I wanted to ask Kim.
Sure.
That I think really important. So Kim, since you are a director and you hire individuals that are for data visualization, do you use some of this to look at people correct? Like if you can talk a little bit about how all of these resources can help anyone that is watching to get that amazing job they always wanted. So for example, just to give everybody an idea, when I work with Comcast, and you probably heard about Josh Tapley, he's the director of data visualization for the whole Comcast enterprise, right? And he looks at this at your Makeover Mondays. He looks at your profile in Tableau, and he actually hire individuals from those looking at their profile. I don't know if you do the same or what you can say about that.
I do the exact same thing, Emil. I mean, it's literally the first question that I ask is, do you have a Tableau public page, right? And if you don't have one right now, that's okay. This is a great way for you to start building that up. And one of the things that I always kind of keep in my back of my mind is something that Andy Kriebel said way back on Tableau public and how you keep it, is we want to actually see your progression. So the first things you put out on Tableau public, keep them there. And as you start to do more and more of these exercises, we're going to see that you've evolved, right? We don't just want to see your things that you spent months to create. We want to see those simple things that you've put out there. We want to see how you've chosen to make decisions. And even if you've modified it and created another one, right? So for me, I go directly to Tableau public anytime we're considering hiring anybody. And I will then ask them, about some of the things that are on Tableau public. But it really is the best recruiting tool, I think, out there. You can see everything that you're capable of doing, and it sparks conversation as well. So yeah, absolutely, Emil. Perfect point.
Perfect. Aaron, do you have anything that you wanted to say about go ahead. Unmute yourself. Yeah, I think. Yeah,
there we go. Kim, you said some things that really hit home with me. When I was looking to change careers, I always made sure that I updated my Tableau public resume, and I've come to find out that when you are equal with someone else that may not have a Tableau public profile, that you kind of are spotlighted because you have that extra that the other person might not have. So I whenever we're looking at people, we always see if they got a Tableau public profile. So it's interesting that other companies are doing that as well. I had a bunch of questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I think originally the Makeover Mondays and the Workout Wednesdays were only meant, I think, to only spend about an hour on this. And anytime I do it, it is always more than an hour. And seeing the things that come out of these each week, I know people are spending more than an hour. So I'm curious, how long do you usually spend when you create these things?
Yep. So part of the reason why, and I'll admit I have stopped doing Makeover Mondays, more I go to see what people have done, but part of the reason why I've stopped it is because I really think it should be time bucketed, right? And I do have a hard time bucketing myself with Makeover Monday. Workout Wednesday, not so much, right? I can tell myself, if I don't get it within an hour, I need to stop. Right? Because it's a specific challenge. I know what the end result is. But for Makeover Monday, my design side just goes crazy and I want to bring in this, that, and the other thing. And then I see some of the things that people put out there and I'm just like, well, mine has to be that good too. And the reality is it does not have to be this big fancy thing. And you'll see it when they do the reviews and when they put out the blog, sure, there's going to be probably one where somebody spent an insane amount of time. But most of the ones that they're going to actually highlight are those quicker ones because they believe the same thing, that it's not meant to be this big, long exercise, right? It's not supposed to be this long art form version of a dashboard. It should be one visual, maybe a couple, but nothing really complicated and thrown in there. It can be fancy looking, but you really shouldn't be spending more than an hour. I would say 2 hours max for Makeover Monday, just because it also takes time to understand the data and then to build out the visualization. So I wouldn't quite bucket it to an hour total time, but Workout Wednesday, absolutely. Now, the other three, Sports Viz Sunday, Viz for Social Good, and Iron Viz, those are obviously much longer time periods and a bigger commitment for you to be able to do that. And that's really kind of up to your own decisions, but that's also, those aren't every week, right? So it's designed to be something that you can spend that more time on. But yeah, I agree with you, Aaron. There are ones out there that you question how long it's taken, and the reality is they're longer than an hour. So don't feel like what you do in an hour is supposed to match what you see. It's not going to always.
Yeah. The next question I had was, you mentioned that Andy goes through those dashboards on YouTube. I've never tuned in to hear how that goes. How does he go through all of them? Does he only pick select ones? How does that work?
Yeah, so there's a hashtag that you can actually put in Twitter. Scroll back here all the way to the beginning. There's a hashtag here, MMVizReview. And when you put it up on Twitter, he will then search for that tag. And then based off of that tag, he's going to pull up those. And what's great about it is he doesn't look at it until that video. So this is really his first look at those Makeover Mondays as well. So it's not like he's already looked at them and come up with his ideas and then can talk about it. It's at first glance, what does he see? So you're really getting that honest feedback right away. If you don't want to participate in that, you don't have to, right? He's only going to pick the people who have agreed to be part of that feedback session. And he gets through as many as he can. He might not get through all of them, but he tries.
Great. That's kind of neat. He does that.
Mhm.
You mentioned that on the Workout Wednesdays that Power BI is now part of that. How long has that been? Because as far as I knew, it was
This
only just
year.
Tableau.
Yeah,
It's
so it
just this
started
year,
this year, and there are separate challenges. So it's a different set for Power BI than it is for Tableau. And I actually did a couple in the very beginning of Power BI, and I never used Power BI in my life. And they actually started the challenges with as if you'd never done Power BI ever. So it was really good. The first 4 that I did were really just teaching me Power BI. I can say I haven't really done them since because I don't really need to use Power BI, but it was more of just of a curiosity than anything. But there are separate challenges out there starting from the beginning of this year.
Hey, Kim,
Okay.
this is Dinashri, and quick question for you. DataBrains, is this a company owned by Sergio, the founder of Google or something?
It is not. We're a very small boutique consultancy based out of Jacksonville. And I actually work out of my house in Orlando. So we are data and Tableau based, very, very small.
Okay, glad to
We're
know.
small.
And the next question is just regarding, the various things that you mentioned. Appreciate all the information. In terms of Tableau Data Engine and its journey for the next 5 years, what do you think we can anticipate in terms of changes now that it's been bought by Salesforce?
Goodness.
Any thoughts?
I don't know if I'm the right person to answer that. I
Opinions.
mean, I think it's only going to make that coordination between both platforms better, right? So there's always been kind of a disconnect, and I think it's just going to make it a little bit easier between those. But I'm not one to pontificate what's going to happen in the next 5 years for that.
Sure, thanks so much. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate Jeff. Amazing work with the Olympics. I'm so proud of you. 3 cheers and shout outs. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you. Anyone else have any questions for Kim this morning or afternoon? Any other things? Okay.
If
Kim?
anybody wants to put it in the chat or you can reach out to Kim, of course.
Yep, feel free to reach out. Absolutely, happy to.
Yeah, Kim, thank you so much for sharing. I know that for my own specific Tableau journey, I have learned so much and have yet to really dig into a lot of these resources. So, I really encourage everybody to get connected with that more and, work to grow your skills. So that's fantastic. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, let me go back to previously shared screen and move along here. Okay. So as we had just kind of talked about, we do have a lot of links in our PowerPoint deck that we typically send out. So that will be here. We'll also include Kim's slides. So those will all be included in the information that we post relative to today's meeting. You guys will be able to get to that. The next thing we want to do is go ahead. We're going to jump into some breakout rooms. We have about 50 people on the call. So what we're going to try to do is just set that up to a room of about 5 people. And just a little time check here. We have left roughly around 20 minutes or so. So we may juggle things around a bit, but we're going to go ahead and jump into some breakout rooms, probably do about 5 per room. So we'll kind of head into that direction. The whole idea of the breakout room is really to give everyone an opportunity to, make some connections with everyone who is, currently out here. So some ideas of things to share. You could talk about your favorite vacation spot, something that's making you happy. If you could visualize anything in Tableau or another tool, what would it be? Another thing that you might want to talk about is any new thing that you have recently been learning relative to visualization or Tableau, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yamil, Aaron, and myself are admins, so we may move through groups, or we'll just do the best that we can to help facilitate. And then at any time you can return back into the main, and I'll give you a little bit of a notice before we shut those sessions down. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do that now.
So Jeff, once we're done with this, with our small groups, just get back to the main room and we'll regroup there.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll set a timer so you'll know that that's coming, and you know, try to give everybody an opportunity to share in that breakout session. So, thank you all so much.
Perfect. And I pasted some of the questions in the chat, of the ones that you have here on the screen, just in case.
Great. Okay, let's go ahead and do that.
Just share whatever you want and just network.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So everybody should be in a room. There you go. Great.
I have Aaron Diaz.
Okay. Well, hi guys. Well,
Hello, Jeff.
hey, how are you?
Pretty good. Could you transfer me to another breakout room? I got sent to one that was just by myself.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, hold on just a second.
Of course, thank you.
Two, two. Okay. 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 Hey, Robert, how are you?
Good, how are you? I guess I missed it. Too late, huh?
Yeah, we're just in breakout rooms now, but we're about to wrap up here in just a few minutes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. We will be posting the session to our group on LinkedIn though. So if you didn't get to connect during the part of the meeting, you can still get that from our Orlando Tableau group on LinkedIn, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Abe, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Good. How was the breakout room?
It was pretty good. Pretty good. Just
Good.
we all kind of got there kind of late, so we didn't really understand what was going on, but we were just kind of just talking. So pretty
Okay.
good. Yeah. How are things with you?
Good. Good. Been busy, but learning new stuff every day, and I like that.
Yeah, same. I start my last semester of my MBA next week, so
Awesome.
yeah, I'm kind of not really looking forward to it, but
It's a lot of work, but it is worth it. So
yeah, I've enjoyed the last 7 weeks of not having to do schoolwork. So
yeah, that doesn't get old, does it?
no, it's just getting used to all that stuff again. It's fine, just 3 more classes and then yeah, I'm done. Then I'm done. I've actually been cheating on Tableau a little lately and using Power BI.
Oh, okay.
Just because I have to for work, because
Yeah.
my buddy that hired me saying, "Hey, I've seen your Tableau stuff on LinkedIn. Can you get good at Power BI fast?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Can't be that hard." So.
I've done a little bit of Power BI as well, and it's very different than Tableau. So, you know,
Yeah, I like Tableau better, but there are some things that Power BI does
yeah.
win. But
For sure.
overall, I like Tableau better though.
yeah.
And besides that, I've just been doing a lot of SQLing. And are you doing SQL?
Perfect.
Yeah, that's about it.
I'm gonna bring everybody back. Okay. Now 1 more minute in the breakout rooms there, and then everybody will come back. Yeah, I've been learning SQL and doing. I got into Power BI kind of like Kim was saying, to learn it and to better understand what it's all about. But the digging into the wonders of Tableau just continue to. I just can't keep getting blown away. So.
Tableau will always be my first love.
Oh man. I started working with a level of detail fixed in expressions to calculate percentages for a survey that we're doing. And let me tell you, that's just like so awesome. When you can put something to work and you start to really learn it, you get a lot out of that. So that's been fantastic.
Love that. I need to get some of that.
Hey, Erica, how are you? You're muted.
Unmute myself. Doing well.
Good.
It was really cool being on the 3-on-3 the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Thank
I volunteer to talk about charts and things. I need to start doing more charts and things.
Yes. Well, that was awesome. That was a great show. I watched it with you and Katie there and Aaron, of course, and you.
I need Katie's setup. Like that was gorgeous with her chair and everything. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I just have like the white
Yeah.
wall behind me.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying that. Everyone I heard was saying that they loved her setup.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys all got something useful out of the breakout rooms. I know that those sessions are rare. We don't often get opportunity to just connect with others. We don't necessarily have the future meetings totally figured out yet, but we know that our future sessions will include, we'll start getting to where we can, get together comfortably when the time is right. And we'll have a little bit of a mix of live meetings with virtual meetings. So we'll try to kind of bring those two things together. So that's something that you can just kind of be aware of for future TUG meetings. We'll keep you in the loop on that. We have some great things that are coming. Steve Wexler is agreed to come. So Steve, if you don't know him, he's a Tableau Zen master, author, extremely educated guy. He knows this world very, very well. Yamil has connected with him, and so we're working to nail down the specific time and date. We'll get that information out to everybody as soon as we can. And then in October, we're working on a plan to do a fun kind of Halloween themed meeting, to which one of the things we'll probably do is, I don't know, you could dress up, right? So I've got a cool Batman mask I was going to grab, but for next time. So imagine me with a Batman mask on, maybe we'll do that. Always try to keep it fun, but yet at the same time, we want to be learning and growing too. So again, hopefully you guys were able to connect in those breakout rooms. We will post Kim's session, of course, the recording today on our LinkedIn group, so you can download that. And if there's anything you want to follow up on, we'll also post the PDF of the slides. So those links that Kim had, all that stuff, we'll get that out to the group as soon as we possibly can. And then the only other thing I could think of is just if if you have something you want to share with the community, if you want to share a dashboard, or if you learned a really cool technique. I was talking with Abe just before the breakout ended. I actually got into level of detail stuff. I wanted to learn that. I found a use case for using the fixed parameter and that calculation relative to the survey. And it's just the coolest thing in the world. And it never ceases to fail that once you learn something, it's like almost immediately you can put it to use in the real world. So if there's something that you want to learn or use, you can certainly do that. So anyway, any other questions before we wrap up our call today? Anybody have anything?
So if anybody is interested in presenting like Kim did, or as you can see, it doesn't have to be a long presentation. It can be 10 minutes. Anything that you want to share. You can even bring your dashboard. Of course, you can use dummy data, right? And we can talk about it. We can help you out. We can, or if you want to show us your dashboard and how you went through it, and if it was really successful, of course, we want to hear about it. Anything that you can think of, we're here for you. We're here to help you, and just let us know. And we're always looking for people that want to present. Always.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Anything that you want. Yeah.
All right.
That's it. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all later.
Yeah.
Thank you.